Bear with me while I get organized. This is the back of the property where things have been shuffled to get things done. As I moved in, it wasn't as well organized as it could have been, so I've been doing a lot. Now, there's technique to store your food underground and keep it that way and keep it preserved like a refrigerator. It's really simple. It's a technique as old as time, and the Amish practice it still today very much, and I'm sure many cultures still do. It's simple as having a hole in the ground to keep the food cool at a temperature like a root cellar like condition, and that's a way to preserve meat even a little colder. Down here underground it doesn't freeze, and that's the bigger part of it all. It keeps it fresh and preserved when it's deep enough, and I won't freeze, the water won't freeze even if there's no heat. Hopefully, ideally, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I guess I'll see. And cool idea and cool way to get grounded. I'm thinking about like some nights of just being completely grounded inside the earth as I rest. And that's pretty cool. Got a couple bales of hay here. These are round bales. They are 4 by 5 feet. They are approximately 1,000 pounds. 2 of them. I'm rolling them. I've got to get them up this ramp and into this feed tent where I have feed and these pallets laid out to go ahead and set them on. They are a first cutting alfalfa grass mix. This should get to me well through into the winter, and we'll see just how long it lasts. Railroad ties here, and this is just a few of them. I've moved a few already. There's another whole stack on the other side of the property that I got to go ahead and get over to my dugout, and I have enough so I'll be able to cover it completely, and this will provide such a strong, secure, insulated roof. Checkpoint. Now that's a big old root cluster I got to chisel out of there. This may even have to extend up a bit more and come around a bit more. With the depth that this is going to be at, I'm going to have the inside access as well, which is going to come up through the tent right there at the door. And that'll be another access point. So I'm going to cut it at the measurements. Everything's measured out right. I'm going to put plastic tarp of some kind over top of the railroad ties. Once those are in place, and then soil over top of that, that'll protect it even more, protect from the elements. Insulated by the earth is going to add so much more to the sustainability of it. Burning wood down here, I'm going to go through probably a third of the amount of wood that I do up here right now, being insulated by earth, like the potatoes are, and those are potatoes stretching around the side. And I'm going to insulate them further with leaf litter and animal bedding. Then when it's about to freeze, I'll throw a nice little layer of soil over top of that, and that'll protect them for the winter, and even give me access if I need to break through that inch or two of soil, get at the bedding, rip that out, get at the potatoes to get those out. I could probably get away with doing that at any point throughout the entire winter, and they'll be protected. I don't see them getting bitten by the cold being that deep and that packed full of material. The potatoes are layered, 3 layers, not touching each other, dirty still in soil, the natural soil from where they were planted back at the barn, and they will stay this way. I was thinking maybe even to fill it the rest of the way, each one, because there's this empty space of air here. And I don't think that that's actually good to have that could trap cold air, and rather fill it at a little weight, but they're not really going anywhere anyway. And if they needed to, that much weight doesn't make a big a difference at all. So fill that in. That's what I'm thinking, is that'll be one of the next steps, buckets of soil to fill all these, pack them tight, and then pack this tight. And this will be set for the winter. Head on in. Head on up into the tent. When I get to the depth I need to be at, I still need about 3 feet or so. I think it's probably about 3 feet. It's about 3 feet now. So 6 feet down, be perfect for my height, and give me a little bit of clearance. Keep and retain that heat. It's as natural nature at its best, even without a wood burning stove. I bet you that we would stay thawed the same way with water and us being able to survive bundled up but hibernating like animals. But the stove just adds that special kind of touch, and being able to eat, cook food, do all the things with the heat, surrounded by the earth. The next day, here in the morning, this little pool of water formed down here. I've got to be about 4 feet or so deep now, a couple more feet to go. And I'm wondering how that's going to work out with the water table. Is it going to be a lot of water forming down there? Will I have to figure out a way to stay dry on the floor, thinking like pallets over top of the floor to let the water pool, and maybe even harvest the water, dig a little corner down deeper to pool the water. If the water is actually going to collect like this, I could harvest the water. Very interesting. So I'm going to continue digging and see just where we go. Getting deeper and deeper. And the water, you see with the water table, the water's pooling. So we'll see just how it gets when I get down about 6 feet. Dragged a bunch more of these railroad ties over. There's 21 of them exactly, and that's exactly the number I need to cover this properly. And it'll give me about 7 inches at the measurement. 102 inches long is what those railroad ties are, and that'll give me the measurement of giving me 7 extra inches hanging over on each side of the hole, and that's enough for support to hold these things up and hold them together. And I'm even going to ratchet strap them together, and that'll kind of make it more like one whole unit rather than individual pieces, and hold it more secure. This last foot is, well, that's the feet right there, is getting down. There's another foot I gotta go here still, and that'll be it. And then I'm going in. I'm gonna clear this out all right here down to where it needs to be at 6 feet, and then I'm going up and in. I can start putting the ties over top and to chisel away at this as I go. Even with all these over top, the top on, I can chisel and get the dirt out of here through this entrance in the tent. I don't have to keep coming outside anymore.